Is my life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our November Wellness Wednesday. I'm so excited about today because I have Adrienne Price with AC Art of Food that will be sharing some delicious recipes with us today. So I'm excited about that. Before we get started, I do want to share that our next Wellness Wednesday will be on December the 1st. And there we will talk about gratitude and anxiety around the holidays. So make sure you mark your calendars for that so that you can join us for that Wellness Wednesday as well. But let me introduce my special guest for today, Adrienne Price. She is the owner of AC Art of Food, LLC. And AC Art of Food, LLC is a culinary health lifestyle resource specializing in helping individuals eat better. The company was initially founded in 2003 by owner and culinary creator Adrienne, who is here with us right now. Initially a private caterer turned personal chef, AC started her cooking journey when she was knee-high to her matriarchs. She was watching them pour love and joy into the pots and pans they mastered in creating delicious bowls and plates full of comfort. Today, AC has refocused her company, a culinary resource that educates clients with custom meal planning, all natural seasoning, cookbooks, and an overall healthier lifestyle of eating. Products and services provided by AC Art of Food encourage a healthier lifestyle, including her abstract spice, which let me say is phenomenal. Okay. It is made up of 6 healthfully delicious seasoning blends, as well as her e-cookbooks, kitchen courses, and customized meal plans. So she truly is like a wealth of knowledge. So Adrienne, thank you so much for joining us today. I am so happy for you to be able to share with the South Fulton community today. So we are excited. And with that being said, I'm going to throw it over to you and you can take over.
Awesome. Jen, thank you so much for that extraordinary introduction. I do appreciate you so much. To the city of South Fulton, it's an honor to be doing something of this magnitude on this platform in the very city that I was born and raised. So that goes without question. Is awesome. 30349 all day long.
Yes.
But absolutely. And also to all of the members of the city of South Fulton, the Mental Health Collaborative, its members, and again, you, Jan, thank you so much for reaching out to me to come out to share how food correlates with mental health. Okay.
Yes.
And so, as Jan stated, I am a culinary health specialist, and my culinary health resource simply means that I make people, I give them the opportunity to eat healthier. I give them the tools and the knowledge through the spices, through the courses, because a lot of times you just don't know how to do certain things, and it can be very, very simple. But when we talk about mental health, my goodness, coming up off of a pandemic that we're still somewhat in, right?
Yes.
It's kind of hard already with the trauma that may have been plaguing people prior to even this pandemic happening, but toppled with pandemic, and then toppled with the transitioning out with the new variants and things like that. It's just so much stuff going on in the world and in life that it's very, it's easy to see why people are experiencing depression and anxiety and things of that sort. And a lot of this stuff can maybe even stem from childhood trauma that comes into poor decision-making as adults, okay? So, but to topple that, the things that we eat can even worsen that, okay? So when you talk about sugar, you talk about alcohol, you talk about drugs, caffeine, even different processed foods, all of those foods and beverages have chemicals in them that can cause a chemical imbalance in the chemicals that's in the brain, okay? So it leads to that, that mood swings, to the fatigue, and just the anxiety and depression that we from time to time feel. Because nobody's walking out here just, happy-go-lucky unicorns and rainbows all day long, okay? That's just the fact of the matter.
Right.
But the foods that we eat can absolutely improve our mood and just energy and mental capabilities, but it all correlates to what we eat in our body, because it all relates to what our brain is telling us to do. So different ways that we can counteract those poor eating habits is to incorporate the omega-3s, okay, which are those good fatty components. They get that brain, you know, just moving, and the clarity and the energy. You have your antioxidants, you have zinc, you have vitamin D, you have different minerals such as magnesium and antibiotics, and also probiotics. And when you think about probiotics, you think about the gut. And I always recommend my clients on any type of course or regimen that I put them on, I recommend a probiotic, because this is where our immune system dwells. But good bacteria is going to send signals to the brain to boost good feelings. That's going to boost good living and just a more positive mindset. Okay, so when you have that good gut health, food goes into the gut. Okay, so I listed a lot of those minerals and those vitamins that we need, but you can find them in foods. There are supplements, absolutely, where you can get a lot of this, but the body breaks down and utilizes actual food more so than they would be supplements, okay? So if you can get your vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in food, that is the first step that you want to take. Some of the hard to find, okay, you know, supplements maybe, but you want to primarily do it with food. So like your omegas, we have salmon, okay? Beautiful salmon. The thing about salmon though, but it's just not salmon. Usually when we hear about omega-3s, we think about salmon, but also its cousin, the trout, which is my absolute favorite. But sardines, mackerel, any type of fattier fish is going to be great because it has those omega-3s in it that we need to kind of get the wheels going in your brain. Then we have green leafy vegetables, okay? Plants, absolutely, like your spinaches, your kale, anything deep. And when I talk about eating the rainbow, that's what I mean, because the plant chemicals that the photosynthesis that goes on with the plant and the chemicals and the colors and the lycopene, all of that are going to boost that brain power. And we eat with our eyes first. So when we see that, our vibrations are immediately up, okay? And then we're feeling good, we smell it, it smells good, and we taste it, and it tastes amazing, okay? And then even mushrooms. Mushrooms have a lot of vitamin D that gets that brain cranking and gets that, that mood boosted as well. So what we're gonna start off with, I'm gonna do a recipe that's gonna incorporate 4 of these main foods that you need in your diet, okay? And then we're gonna top it off also with a smoothie, because berries are also essential in that. Your nuts, your seeds, all of those things. We also have oils, so like your olive oils, and those are beneficial oils that are gonna give you also minerals and other beneficial ingredients, but it's good to cook with because it's that good fat. Now, when we're talking about the olive oils and the avocado, they are good fats, but they are still fat. So you absolutely want to do those in moderation. A lot of people like the trend with the avocado toast. Amazing, it's great, it tastes good, but daily for a serving, you just want 1/4 of that avocado. So that's not even half the avocado. That's half it and half it again, because it does have a lot of fat in it, but it's a good fat, but it's still fat nonetheless, okay? So what we're gonna do with a pan, this is a simple, quick, and easy way to do your, to do a meal that we're gonna do with. It's gonna be salmon, we're gonna saute, we're gonna sear some salmon, saute some spinach, and your mushrooms, okay? So we're gonna start by turning on our stove, okay, onto a medium heat. And what I like to do is I like to let foods flavor whatever we're cooking, okay? So the main component that we're gonna cook is that salmon, but we can go ahead and get the vegetables in, say like your sauteed spinach and your mushrooms, all of that's really good. And then what we're gonna do beforehand, since it's gonna take the longest, is our sweet potatoes. We're gonna go ahead, we've already diced those up, okay? And they're sitting in the oven right now. They're warming and they're ready to go, okay, to plate. So we're just gonna add a little bit of this cooking spray. And cooking spray is 0 calories. But we're gonna do that and we're gonna add our spinach, okay? Now, the thing about spinach is that you can have 22 bags of spinach and it'd be a quarter size when you're done. It cooks down so much, but frozen is absolutely okay to utilize it because it's already wilted and you know exactly the serving sizes that you're gonna get. But we're just gonna do some spinach. So we're gonna go ahead and add that spinach. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and cook that down. And like I said, spinach, any type of leafy greens, that is going to be amazing, okay, to boost your mood, to become an antidepressant. A lot of the stuff that you can use, and I'm not saying that food alone, because you have to have enough in, you know, in your body. Be doing this for a long time. A lot of people want to say that, oh, if I eat well, you know, I don't need to take any type of medication. Well, that's not always the case, okay? Because it just depends on the state that your body is in already, okay? So we want to go ahead and build, and the more you get those things into your body, the good things into your body, it pushes the bad things out. And then you learn that, okay, I'm listening to my body, I'm being mindful to my body, and I like the way I'm feeling when I'm eating good things that are good for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these mushrooms in. And remember, we have that on medium low. Now, there are dozens and dozens, hundreds even, types of mushroom varieties, okay, of the legal consumption standpoint. But we have the standard one is usually your white button mushrooms, okay, the ones that you can see and that they're sliced in the produce section. But I'd like to change it up a little bit with the maitake and the shiitake mushrooms. And of course, we have the portobellos, and the portobellos actually were the main mushrooms that you would hear about. And every time you wanted to do, say, like a meal substitution for protein, okay? But the mushrooms, they're rich in protein and also in vitamin D, but the maitake and the shiitake are more fibrous, and they're give that more texture of like a meat type texture, okay? So we're just gonna put these in here, and these are the maitakes that I have right here. So they give a nice woodsy flavor, okay? And like we said, they're rich in that protein and that vitamin D, which is what the brain needs in order to boost those serotonin levels. And when I talk about serotonin, that is that chemical released when you're eating vegetables and produce, fresh, that is good for you. Because just like when you're working out, and that's also a great component to utilize when you're trying to boost your mood, but when you're working out, that chemical releases those endorphins, okay? So a lot of time, I used to be a heavy runner. I used to run 5Ks like every single day, wake up at the crack of dawn, 4 a.m. in the morning with my group. However, like when I would finish, I would feel like I could conquer the world, okay? And that's those endorphins that are released. Now, food has that same component, and you can do that through the produce that you're eating and with the fruits and the vegetables, okay? And so that's what's released when you have your sweet potatoes and when you have your mushrooms and when you have your spinach. Now, primarily purple sweet potatoes. I actually did another event about a week ago, and we talked about the purple yam, okay? But the purple sweet potato also has very, very much so concentrated levels of that serotonin that's being released into the body, that mood. So that's why we're talking about sweet potatoes today, okay? So we're gonna let this saute, okay? And remember, we don't, if you wanna saute something to keep with good health, you wanna, you know, you can add a little water to it. You don't necessarily have to add oil, because oil has calories, and a lot of people think that's what you have to do to make sure the food isn't sticking to the pan, but water acts just as well. But we're not having any sticking problems because mushrooms contain a lot of water, okay? So we're essentially just cooking them in their own juices. That adds way more flavor, okay? So once we're finished sauteing this, we're gonna add a little bit of some flavor. Now, I created a spice, abstract spice. And I did it on the basis of, I was just very, very much so fed up with the run-of-the-mill standard season all blends, okay? Sometimes when you're cooking some really earthy, some really flavorful meals, you wanna add that special red top seasoning lots of times. But I got to the point where I could not understand why something with that much flavor had to be so bad for me internally, okay? And the sodium levels were sky high, and that's something that is definitely plaguing the African-American community, my community, and I wanted to do something to change that narrative, okay? I believe in shifting your mindset to change the narrative, so if I can shift my mindset into creating something that will be flavorful as well as good for you, then I'm doing my part, right? So I created Abstract Spice, and this is the seasoning blend right here. And Abstract Spice is loaded. There's nothing artificial in it. There's nothing, there's no caking agents, no anti-caking agents in there. It's full of garlic, it's full of turmeric. And remember, turmeric with black pepper is what's going to do your body that much better. And it's going to be an anti-inflammatory. And see, that's a lot of times when you get foggy brain, is because there's inflammation in the brain, okay? And so when you consume foods that are anti-inflammatory, you're winning. So the seasoning alone, and I'm not suggesting that you just take full of the seasoning. However, it is very tasty. I would recommend it. Yeah, I would recommend that you absolutely put it on food. But it's a seasoning that tastes good, but it's working for you too. So it's not just the good foods that you're eating, but also what you're seasoning your foods with that is beneficial for your health and boosting that mental positivity. And that's what we want to do. Okay, so we're going to absolutely, these are my 10s. Did y'all see how I did that? That because it's a magnet. And that's one of the signature 10s. But we're going to go ahead and season these mushrooms and spinach because it gives off some of the water here, okay? Absolutely. And then also the seasoning, it comes in an even lower sodium blend. It's six of those blends. And so I have that, and I also have a lower sodium, okay? So the thing about the average seasoning blend is that it's about 300 plus milligrams per serving, and that's 1/4 teaspoon. I don't know anybody who seasons anything ever with just 1/4 of a teaspoon. That's literally like that much. That's literally like a pinch, okay? So I was able to handcraft and blend together to make it my seasoning, which is the abstract spice, to be lower than 100 milligrams per serving for that same exact serving. But I'm in the 70s range. And even with your lower sodium, it's gonna be under 40. So either way, you're winning with great flavor, great taste. There's also a spicy that it comes in and a rose sea salt, because sometimes you just want a little dash of salt, say on your popcorn or on your fries. And so it's a little something for everybody. So that's good, and every type of taste palette that you want. So we sauteed these mushrooms and spinach. And if you wanted to do these separate, you absolutely could. You could absolutely do these separate. And that's just how the mushrooms look. You see that?
Oh, that looks good.
Do you see my spinach?
Mm-hmm. I do see your spinach. And I like that you're adding the mushrooms to this dish. So if you are a vegan, right, or vegetarian, then you don't have to have the salmon. You could still get the benefits of the mushrooms. So
absolutely, that's good. You can omit this completely. And remember the thing that we said about the salmon, its contributor is the omega-3s. You have your olive oil that you can incorporate with the mushrooms. I put in some cooking spray, but you can add a little bit of the olive oils. Even the avocado oil would be great for those omega-3s. Those are the beneficial oils that you want. Now, awesome. When you're cooking though, you want to make sure that you use a high smoke point oil. And that is going to be your regular olive oils or your regular grapeseed or even your regular avocado. You want to save the extra virgin to like finish it, like to drizzle a little something on top, because the more you cook that, the smoke point is very low and you start to deplete all of those nutrients and benefits that you want to get in the oil. So it's just kind of like, it's lost. So you want to maintain that, but you can absolutely do that. Or that 1/4 avocado slice that we were talking about earlier, you can absolutely put that on top with your mushrooms too, to make sure you get the benefit of those omega-3s that are going to exercise that brain. Okay.
Awesome.
So we have our mushrooms here, okay? And then once we get our mushrooms out the way with the spinach, we are going to start on our salmon. And I have an amazing foolproof way of getting our salmon cooked perfectly. And there's a misconception out there that, you have to cook salmon for a long time. You do not have to cook these seafood for a long time, just a short period of time. So you would take a piece of this beautiful salmon that we have, and I'm gonna put a little bit more cooking spray on here. Jen, am I okay with time?
You are. We have about 11 minutes, so you're good. I'm watching the time for you.
Great, awesome. Okay, so we already have that pan heated. And what I like to do, I have my salmon here, and if you cannot see those herbs and just the seasoning on there, that is the abstract spice that is on the salmon. And you have to flavor it both ways, because both sides are going in your mouth. So you might as well go ahead and season both sides. It's just the right thing to do. So we're going to go ahead and lay that on here skin side down, okay? And your heat is going to be on medium heat. This is foolproof. Medium heat. And you're going to put that on there for 2 minutes both sides, okay? 2 minutes both sides.
That's
so
it.
in 2 minutes, flip it, other side. My oven is already preheated to 400. After we're gonna heat those on 2 minutes for both sides, you're gonna stick it in the oven for about 3 minutes so it can finish cooking. Then you're gonna take it out and you're gonna let it rest, okay? That's with any type of animal protein that you're gonna be cooking, you're gonna let it rest. Now, what we have in regards to doing our seafood, and when you're selecting foods, you wanna make sure they're the best quality, especially if it's gonna be animal protein. We wanna catch wild, okay? You absolutely wanna do wild, but what people may not have known is that seafood, specifically salmon, is seasonal. So when you are trying to get a really good quality of salmon, say in the off season, and this is pretty much one of those times, you're gonna wanna make sure it's responsibly raised, okay? And they'll have stickers. And believe it or not, Walmart has responsibly raised seafood. I do know that Costco has that as well. So those are ways that you can get that food, because the better quality of food is going to make your body do its best, okay? And absolutely that's going to work with your brain, okay? So all of that is just connected all together, okay? And then while we're doing that, we have our sweet potatoes that we are going to flip. Well, our salmon we're gonna flip, and then our sweet potato, because it's been about 2 minutes, okay? And so I've diced up some sweet potatoes, and sweet potatoes, like we mentioned before, like the purple ones, they're gonna release those serotonin levels, okay? But they're so good because they're colorful. So anytime you have those colorful vegetables, it's that lycopene, and that lycopene is not only good for mood boosting, but it's also cancer fighting. So all of these foods that we're talking about are correlated with not just the body feeling better, boosting the your mindset, but also overall health to fighting disease, because you're putting it in an alkaline environment where it's fighting disease. And these are roasted sweet potatoes, okay? So what I have done, once we finish that, the finished product, voila, is what we have beautiful. Here. Okay, so we have our delicious mushrooms, okay? And they've actually been crisped, okay? Because when you put them in the oven like that, on the stove, in the pan, you can crisp them up without having to add any type of flour or additional, because of the texture of the mushroom. So it's very, very crispy, super good for you, super great for brain boosting because of that vitamin D and the nutrients that are lying within it and the protein. Then we have our beautiful salmon fillet that, like I said, both sides, 2 minutes on medium heat, and then stick it in the oven on 400 for 3 minutes. You don't want to overcook it, but you do want to make sure you let it rest. And then our beautiful saute spinach that we have in here. Believe it or not, this is 45 bags of fresh spinach right here. And it got down to, I'm kidding, it's not 45 bags, but I mean, pretty much that's what, that's what it would be. And then our beautiful golden sweet potatoes. And you know what? Sweet potatoes are so super hard to cut in its raw state, but they take the shortest amount of time to heat. But also regular potatoes will do just fine. And also another component that is great for a brain boosting, we have this delicious savory meal. I'm gonna have a great lunch. I wish you guys were here with me to enjoy, because the smell-o-vision is amazing. We talked about—
It does, it looks phenomenal.
Okay, thank you. But what we also talked about were berries, okay? And berries are super, super great for brain health. It's just overall, it could be blackberries, blueberries, goji berries, okay? Strawberries even, but blueberries have also been proven in some research studies to reverse or help with the staging of dementia and Alzheimer's, okay? So that's a good thing to incorporate into your diet. Now, I always talk about eating seasonal, because seasonal is when the best produce is going to do the best thing for your body, okay? But it's the fall, you know, berry season is gone and over with. Frozen, people, frozen at the peak of freshness. They were frozen, they were picked in season and frozen. And so that's what's going to be best for you when we're on the off season, okay? But all you have to do in a blender, smoothies, when you can't get it, let this be your supplement. Let this be your pill of supplement. I'll put that in here, blend it up, and you have a beautiful berry smoothie. Okay,
ooh, that looks good.
Super delicious, antioxidant. We put some pineapple in here for bromelain, and bromelain is cancer fighting, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory. All of these are anti-inflammatory. And I also mentioned nuts. Now, Abstract Spice, we have Abstract Snacks, which is the nuts, okay? And these are called Abstract Spice roasted health nuts. And they are roasted in the Abstract Spice seasonings, okay? A blend of the seasoning, but the three components are the walnuts, the pecans, and you have the pepitos, which are the pumpkin seeds, which are super great for boosting brain health, okay? Primarily, a lot of our foods that we eat that God has blessed us with, if you crack them open, if you crack open a walnut, what does it look like?
It looks like the brain.
It looks like the brain, absolutely. So walnuts are super good for boosting brain health. So that is what's also in here. And plus they taste great. Like no one wants to just sit up here and eat filler sticks and broccoli pops and all that, and it's not tasting good. So that's how AC Art of Food incorporates and brings that in, because I'm making healthy taste better. And guys, that is our lunch for our mental health.
Well, I have one last thing. Thing. Please tell the South Fulton community how they can get all of these wonderful products, your spices, your seasoned nuts, everything that you have. Tell us how we can get it.
Absolutely. One-stop shop, acrtoffood.com. You just go on my site. My social media handle is AC Art of Food. All things AC Art of Food. That's LinkedIn, Pinterest, that's Twitter, that's Facebook, that's the Gram. Absolutely. But when you go to my website, make sure you subscribe, because we have a supper club also, which is a private meal prepping service for people who, don't want to do all this that I just did. I love to do it, so I can do that. There is a waiting list though, but make sure you reach out at info@acrtoffood.com if you're interested in that. But absolutely, our spice blends that come in these bundles. And because the holiday season is coming up, we are going to have some bundles together that are going to be with the Abstract Spices. This is our Gold Top series that we have. And it's all 6 of the blends in these beautiful styled Gold Top jars that are excellent for gifts. And we are encroaching on the holiday season. But also you can have your 3-ounce packs that we have here. And these shiny babies back here as well, our 10-ounce bags. And for our super duper cooks, we do have the 2-pound bags. And that's a heavy hitter, because that's like us going in the mail at 12 pounds. But it's all the seasonings that you would ever possibly need. Make sure you reach out to acrtoffood.com for all your culinary health needs. I literally make healthy taste better. So great eats and healthy living is what I always say.
Yes. And thank you so much, Adrienne, for just sharing your wealth of knowledge with us today and being our culinary health resource today. I truly appreciate it. And you're making me hungry. I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. I plan to do this whole meal tonight.
It's super easy. It's super easy. Everything on here is good for you. This is literally your multivitamin for the day. There you go.
It really is. And it looks phenomenal. So thank you so much for sharing that. So we're going to go ahead and conclude, because we're right at our 30 minutes. But if you and your family are in need of any services for mental wellness, please do not hesitate to contact Odyssey Family Counseling. You can contact them at 404-762-9190. Again, that's 404-762-9190. And you may also check out their website. It's odysseycounseling.org. Again, that's odysseycounseling.org. Adrienne, thank you so much for talking with us again about mental wellness. We appreciate you. And that's a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.